Hey guys, so this is week 5. This is my P5 video blog. This week we were supposed to meet up with our art installation for Second Life, our artist. There was a little bit of miscommunication with our group. Well, not within our own group members. What I mean by that is with meeting up with our actual artist. We were able to get in contact with them, however, there was a little bit of miscommunication because of the fact that we were supposed to meet this Saturday. However, we have yet to receive an email back. And so just to clarify, the artist we chose was the Publé twins. I already talked to my TA about it, and she said that there shouldn't be a problem to extend our deadline until they contact us back. And worst comes to worst, we will choose another artist. But hopefully it won't come down to that. Hopefully, things work out. And yeah, so seeing that we couldn't get that done, however, I still have my 6 questions that I wrote for the interview. I was just going to read off a few of them. You'll see it on my blog and for one of my sketches. But one of the questions that I was really interested in asking them, just because myself being a musician and it's dealing with art, is what mood do you prefer to be in when to get the most out of the work you do? I know, like with me, I'm really into music. However, I feel like certain when you have certain moods and emotions going through your mind, your creative side tends to work better. Your creative mind juices just flow, if that makes any sense. So that's one question that I'm really excited to just get their input on that. And then also the fact, the other question I had for them was, how do they deal with society's expectations and limitations in contrast with their own? Meaning, society looks at art one way, and also society looks at the limitations of art in a certain way. However, how do they put that in retrospect with what they believe they can, what limits and expectations they can reach, and what goals they want to push for, regardless of how society feels about it. So, that's a really kind of a philosophical question I had for them that I'm trying to also work out for myself. So yeah, those are 2 of the questions that I plan on asking them. There's a bunch more here that you can read later on my blog. The only other thing for this week was the Eva and Franco Matt's reading for Nike Ground, which is pretty cool because I'm a pretty big fan of Nike. And so when I read the article, or the little excerpt on the book, pretty much what I got out of it was that, with enough time and preparation, you can fool anybody into anything. Because it says that, for the pretty much when it happened, no one knew how it got there because it was net artist, and I don't really think I fully grasp the concept of that, even though I do know that Eva and Franco Matz are a part of that, the 01001.org. So pretty much I understand the fact that it's more of like a hidden society type of thing, where they don't really possess actual like presence. They're only present within their art. Kind of the only thing I can relate that to, that I know of by personal experience, is graffiti art, like the graffiti artist Banksy. Many people know his art and they see his stencils. He's known for his stenciling on most walls, but no one's actually seen him in person. No one knows his actual identity. So that's kind of what I got out of that. So it's just crazy to think about that someone without an actual identity can fool an entire city. So it just makes you think, people with actual identities, how much further can they go, with that concept? Because pretty much, even Franco not having no one knowing who they are, they bring this huge Nike swoosh into a town, and I believe the town was in Vienna, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm trying to skim back to the page real quick. But yeah, so pretty much, I mean, they bring this huge structure, you know, unknown people with no identity. So it's just kind of a, it kind of just messes with your mind to think about that. You know, they fooled an entire city. You know, I mean, if I saw something that huge here in Long Beach with Nike, you know, it kind of going along with the reading, I think it's true. I wouldn't question it just because of how big and how perplexed, you know, the actual stunt or whatever you want to call it was. You know, it's kind of like when people say like the more detail you have, the less likely you are to get caught up in it, as long as you can remember the detail. And I kind of relate. I kind of want to relate that to Inception because they like I remember when in the dream world when they create these huge structures, the architect has to go into detail, and they have to mold and create this world. And so, you know, if it's the world is molded and elaborate enough, if it has enough detail, that the person who's actually in the dream won't recognize the difference between what's real and what's not real, which is kind of like what's going on here because they pulled off this stunt that looked so real that people didn't realize how absurd it was. So, yeah, just wanted to relate those two things together. That's what's going through my mind. Hopefully we can talk about it more in class on Tuesday, and also hope to inform you guys on what's going on with my artist for the group project. Alright, well, it was nice talking to you, and I'll see you next week.